Hey, what's up? I'm Coach C. Collins.
Coach MJ, GGT.
And we're here About That Life podcast to talk about basketball life and everything in between. We thank you for tuning in as usual. We want to keep trying to give you guys good content and things to talk about. Obviously, during this lockdown, this pandemic, the more we can talk about basketball, maybe the easier it gets. Please, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. One small click for you helps us out a lot, so we really appreciate it. It's been maybe a couple of weeks since our last episode.
Yeah, like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Since we had Coach Jelpy and his son.
Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of positive feedback from that. So thank you for those who've been tuning in and listening. Again, little by little, we see the subscribers go up, the follows go up, and it's definitely appreciated and noticed because, again, me, Ty, and Mark put a lot of effort, a lot of heart into this. These two guys drive about 40 miles to come out here to make sure, the show takes place, and I appreciate everything they do. So you can show your appreciation by just hitting that like button for us. That helps a lot. So today's guest, we have a returning guest.
Hey.
Good to see you, MJ.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And
back.
And then we have a new guest, Kendall Allen. You good, bro? What is wrong with this kid?
That's the introduction of Kendall.
Yeah, of course. And he's been like this since he got in here. So that's hilarious. But we're glad you're here. Definitely want to, before we get into the heart of the questions and everything, and I want to give you guys a rundown on who Kendall is. If you don't know who MJ is, I suggest you look at one of our earlier episodes. He was our first athletic guest on the show. Was that episode 3?
I think so.
Yeah, because it was Tet first, and then him, right?
Yeah.
It was either your episode 3 or 4. So if you want to refer more back to him and his origins and where he came from and how he's been working, please go back to that episode and check it out. It was a great episode, and it was in the infancy of the show.
Yeah, Genesis.
So definitely check him out, and then you'll get his itinerary. But a little rundown with Kendall. So Kendall, you go to Vacaville Christian, right?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
Relax, kid. All right, relax.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the respect. Thank you.
He calls you sir.
I know.
Your players don't even call you sir.
They really don't.
They be talking shit.
The more grayer I get, the older I feel, and that shit don't help right there. But no, he goes to Vacaville Christian. You're a two-sport athlete, right? Basketball and football. Let's couple of your stats right here. It says freshman, you've been on varsity since you were a freshman, correct? Okay. Freshman year stats are 14 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. First team All-League and section championship?
Yeah.
All right, good. Congratulations. Freshman varsity football stats is 992 receiving yards,
Hey.
13 TDs.
Hey.
Wow. Okay. Not bad, kid. Not bad at all. Then we go to your sophomore years, still assuming you're on varsity unless you had a total fucking meltdown. But you want varsity stats on sophomore year was 20, let's just say 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, first team. First team all conference, right? Okay. Yeah, that's great. And then football, looks like you got better in football too. Shit. 1,029 receiving yards, 12 TDs. First team All-State, All-League, section, region. Wow. And looks like you says you have an offer from Southern University for football?
Yeah.
Okay.
HBCU.
All right.
HBCU.
Well, we'll talk more about that, but definitely you got a strong resume, kid. No doubt about that. Definitely got a strong resume. So let's get into the heart of while you're here, because you've experienced a lot of unique stuff, and then Kendall, feel free to jump in anytime. Don't feel like just because I'm talking to him I'm not talking to you, but give us an update. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and what I mean by update, you don't have to say the company line, oh, it's been great and it's been fucking wonderful. Like, no, give us an update, like how's the process been, what's the I call it the prep school bubbles, right? Because most of the prep schools have their own bubble. Because my nephew Anthony, he's been playing for Prolific Preps, AU stuff. He's in Utah right now.
Oh, nice.
And in their prep school bubbles doing their thing. So that's what I call them, the prep school bubbles. You know, what's the competition like, the coaching, the day-to-day stuff. Go ahead and give us a rundown.
Just that whole experience, the first 3 months has been what I call just a mountain, just because I struggled. I'll be the first one to tell you I struggled pretty bad the first 2 months, but then coming into the last month before we went home, I felt at my best, and that's when I was like, okay, I think it's time, like, now I could really turn this switch on, and which I did. And you know, all that stuff he'd been posting about me when I was over there, like, that's just really what been going on, not even just in the games but practice. It's really just started in practice, you know, just putting myself out there and just keep working and doing what I got to do. Because I knew at one point it wasn't that they were better than me. It was just a matter of fact, how do I get in my comfort zone? Just because of how, you know, I'm coming from Vacaville where, it's competition here and there when we play, but it's not like all these kids come from these top name schools. Like they'll be from another state and they'll be like, oh yeah, I go to this school, and they were like, oh, I heard about your school. But in my case, you don't know nothing where I'm from. So it's just like, you know, how can I interpret my game into this system with these type of players? So yeah, it's been really fun, you know, during the process, and I for once had to like sit back and be like, okay, I'm understanding why this is happening. Let's just take my time and just, you know, enjoy the ride a little bit and just wait till the end result.
And in case people don't know, MJ, you know, he plays at Scotland campus, you know, and we didn't bring that up, but he's playing at Scotland campus. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then going in November, we were supposed to play a lot of games through the month with our bubble, because we were going to allow teams to come to our place. Some games, like most of our games, did get cut short because of just the COVID cases, which sucks. But it was nice because, I mean, we would play like the same team multiple times, but it's just nice playing another opponent.
Yeah, of course.
You know, definitely. So it was really fun. You know, we were safe. Nobody had got, you know, anything over there. But it's just, you know, it's just new. You know, we're learning how to take care of ourselves and just how to live in that.
We're in uncharted territory, no doubt about that. I think everybody's trying to figure it out as they go. Mm-hmm. I mean, the first round of vaccines just went out. You know, shout out to Joe Biden. He took the vaccine, and you know, more and more. I know a few nurses and essential workers that are taking the first preliminary test of vaccine. So, you know, shout out to you guys for, you know, putting yourselves on the line for that. But from what I've seen in research, it is promising. I'm kind of questioning it myself, but you know, to each his own. For your school in general, have they handled dealing with COVID and everything pretty well?
Yeah, definitely. Starting with, you know, just us not being able to leave the campus, and then before we walk in the gym, they got a temperature machine. We were just taking our temperatures, making sure we're at the, you know, we're not too high, and just we've been taking care of it really good. And then if they suspect somebody, you know, that has it, they have a own little dorm where they gotta quarantine it all over again or get tested again.
Okay.
So we've been definitely been handling it really good because, you know, nobody has got anything since being over there.
Good. No, that's. Nice. I mean, that's the hope. No, when just elaborate a little more when you say it was tough, like the first couple months. Was it, when you mean it's tough, do you mean it was just acclimating to the distance? Was it the system? Was it the players? I mean,
it was
what do you feel?
For me, it was the system, just the system, because of I feel like at the time everything going into it, everything was quicker. And I'm going to say, I was kind of, you know, like, how am I, a kid from Vacaville, going to play with these kids who are 4-star, you know,
right,
already got some type of interest from college? I'm just, you know, I'm not going to say I felt like the little guy on campus, but, you know, it seemed like that.
Yeah, you're trying to find your boy.
So just as I learned to adapt, and I just worked, like I never worked as hard as I did when I got there. And I just, you know, I would probably be out for 4 hours of sleep, maybe less, you know, waking up next morning, doing it all over again. And I just wanted it bad. And because I knew it was just right there, and it was reachable. And once I found it, you know, it was fun. That's when it just really became fun.
All right, good. No, nice. I'm glad.
Nice.
Okay, so for you, Kendall, right? I was been looking at Mark's social media and stuff, and seeing you making some decisions for yourself. So I wanted to kind of focus that with you a little bit, especially since we're already talking about his school anyway. You know, you plan on going to his prep school, right? Scotland Prep,
January.
right? Okay, good. So you know, what are some of the advantages of you think going to prep school as opposed to maybe going the more traditional route, which would be either like a JC or a 4-year or things like that? I mean, and kind of what are you doing to prepare for that? Because the good part is you have some insight because you know somebody that's there and you know kind of what you need to do. But, you know, what do you foresee as kind of your advantages and what helps lead to that decision?
I felt like it was a big advantage was like another year of development and like mentally and physically, because I'm not the biggest, strongest guy. So I felt like the coaches, like prep school coaches, actually get your body right for college and even beyond college too. And I felt like the coaches and like the system, like it's like a college system, so they're training you before.
Put the mic by your mouth. There you go.
They're training you before you go to college, so you're not like nothing's new to you.
Yeah.
You're already used to it. So I feel like that's a big advantage right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for real, they just to add on, just because when we go there, they're just always gonna say we're not preparing you for high school, we're preparing you for college. So definitely this is college preparation, and then not just that, just so you can succeed in college and play further on. So yeah.
All right, sounds good. No, I mean, as long as you guys see the advantage of prep school, and I'm seeing more and more the advantage of how prep school not only can get you guys ready for college, but really can, you know, it's kind of a nice in between route. You know what I mean? Obviously for eligibility and things like that. So I'm glad to see more and more guys take advantage of it.
Well, one thing that I kind of want to add to that too is just that, you know,
Kendall, you're breathing into the mic.
yeah. one thing that I do want to add to that, you know, especially with parents listening and players listening, is prep school isn't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, especially with MJ and Kendall, you know, since I work with them, that, you know, yes, that is, especially with, you know, with COVID and everything going on, but besides, if there wasn't any COVID, the whole prep school experience, I feel like, is, you know, for either certain players who are diamonds in the roughs, you know, who don't get the right exposure because of location or whatever it is, late bloomers. So, you know, especially with Kendall, you know, we've already went through this with MJ, you know, in the last time we were here, but also with Kendall, I feel like, you know, I don't want it to be like, you know, like, I know a lot of parents are probably going to be like, oh, okay, well, that's a good option for my kid. And, you know, how much is in, and it's not necessarily about that. Like, you do have to understand that, you know, so, especially with them Kendall's going to Scotland campus. MJ's been at Scotland campus. Like, that's a top 5 prep program in the nation. So they're out there, you know, they're developing killers. But at the end of the day, it's, you got to have something in you for you to even be qualified to, you know, be considered to get on a team like that or anything like that. So that's just something that I wanted to throw in there for any of the parents or players listening is, you know, it's part of a blueprint, you know, of trying to get to the next level.
And also, you actually got to be a dog, and you got to have that heart. You can't just go in there like a regular old high school player. You actually have to have some type of skill and mental toughness too. Because they're gonna test you when you go to prep school too.
Yeah, for real. Because I seen, like, not even trying to be on no like, let me lurk through your page type stuff. But like when we first start going there, you know, everybody start following each other on Instagram. So, you know, I look at some of their highlights, of course.
Yeah.
You feel me? And you feel me, look like they the man at their school. But then going through these months, it's just like, damn, like, okay, like,
Ain't shit, I can hang with you.
like, it ain't nothing much.
Yeah.
All right. So, MJ, back to you. Have there been any colleges at these games? I'm just curious how, you know, what the Bulls, has there been any colleges? Have they contacted your coaches or anything like that?
There hasn't been colleges going to our games, but they definitely been watching the live streams and just any type of film because what I did was, after we get our full game film, I just start sending it out to anybody who's been in contact with me, and they've been reaching back. And a couple more schools and got added, you know, after this previous tournament I just had with Rampage. They just been, you know, they just checked in and just introduced themselves and stuff like that. But definitely, they just been really into the live streams, and that's like the first time because like I've ever experienced where a coach actually, you know, was looking at my games through live stream, texting me after the game, telling me, you know, send me the game film. So yeah, it's just been it's a weird experience, but it's actually been it hasn't held anything back because I've still been able to, you know, find a way to get contact with them and show them what I can do.
Nice. And then and then talking about your performance. That's another side of it I wanted to talk about. So, you know, from what I've seen from his highlights, from just looking at your Instagram and stuff, you're performing well, man. You're balling. You know what I mean? There's no bullshit in it.
He's D1. He's D1. Somebody sign this man. Like, stop it. Go watch the film. Call Coach Chaney. Call my boy Sully. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's performing against 5-star players, ESPN ranked players. So I just had to throw that out there.
That's
man.
fine. That's as you should.
Go watch the film.
You should be his advocate, no doubt about that. I'm neutral. I'm just learning. So no, but from what I can see, I mean, you are performing well. You're doing well. Were you surprised? I mean, through this, you know, because one thing I could say, and this is just more reflecting on my own life. This is just the old man in me talking, right? This is all the gray hairs talking. But I've learned more through the process than the progress. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
I definitely do.
People can see where I'm at now, and they think like, "Oh, Chris just figured all this shit out." Like if you would have told me when I was your age, for one, I'd be working a 9 to 5 in the middle of the fucking night. I'd have my own gym. I'd have my own company. I'd be like, who? What? Like, no, I don't do that shit. Like, I could. Trust me, high school version me was very different, right? So what I'm saying is, like, through this process, I've learned way more about myself, about life, than the actual progress. So I'm just saying, has it kind of been the same for you?
Yeah, definitely. That's why I said I'm, like, right now in life, I can actually say I'm at my best. Because that process wasn't just basketball. It was, I found myself as an individual more than anything. And I would always, you know, question, like, man, who am I as an individual? Like, what am I, you know, you just always ask yourself questions. And going through that struggle, I think once I found myself as an individual, that's when I started performing better in basketball. And that's when I just took off and I just started having fun, started being happy, positive. Like, there was just, like, nothing that was going to tear me down. And that's when I was like, okay, like, I can go as far as I want to, and then nobody can do nothing about it.
Hey.
So definitely, and then just even now, like, through training and me being back home and still, like, you know, just going through it, having fun, being with family, I'm still, you know, yeah, like.
Give you that appreciation.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was curious if, you know, you look at it now and you're like, wow, this is who I am. You know what I mean? And sometimes you do got to sit back and you know, admire your own work. Yeah. Because you're the one that did it.
Definitely. Because when I start performing to expectations where I wanted to be, I was, you know, surprised of just, you know, like, damn, I'm really doing this. Like, I came all the way out here and this, I'm finally getting it. Like, damn.
It's funny that he says that because, you know, just to give a lot of people some insight, you know, is, you know, especially, you know, I've been working with him now, you know, we're almost coming up to 3 years. And we say this a lot. It's like, if we go back 3 years ago when we first met, we would have never been like, hey, man, you'd be in Pennsylvania, you know,
right.
Scotland campus. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always, you know, we talk about that.
Right.
But at the same time, we've always talked about, well, this is what you're going to become. This is what you have to do. And he's been doing that. And so to me, you know, like coming from his side, you know, him saying, you know, those first 2 months he was struggling, you know, on my side of it, you know, because of course, you know, our relationship, like I said, is not just about the basketball. You know,
right.
That's also with Kendall.
Of course.
All my players, you know what I'm saying? It's more than just basketball. Yeah. And so I saw that, you know, and at the same time, having that connection with Sullivan Brown, who's the assistant coach, you know, my college teammate, that's kind of the advantage as well, is I can talk to him and find out, like, yo, hey, MJ needs to do this.
Right.
MJ's not doing this. Or, one of the big things with MJ, you know what I'm saying, it's about that life, I don't need to talk about everything, but with MJ, like I said, when it comes to skill, athleticism, work ethic, to me, he has no weaknesses as a basketball player at his position. But one thing that, and to me, I believe, with a lot of kids, especially at a young age, is trying to control your emotions, right? When things go bad, still trying to stay composed. And I always, my favorite phrase I said to tell all my players is, think like a pro, act like a pro, look like a pro. You guys aren't pros yet, but that's how you have to carry yourself. So when scouts see you and coaches see you, and when you are struggling, they're looking at you like, okay, even though he's struggling, like, he's still aggressive, he's still composed. And that's one of the things with him where I knew from watching all his games and talking to Sully, was those first couple months was, he was still, especially in a situation like that, no family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not there to always be on him and be like, yo, bro, you'll be fine. Those coaches out there, like I said, it's not saying that they don't care. It's they expect you, all the players, to be ready.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so for him having to adapt to that, and going up against these top elite players who already have D1 offers from Alabama, Tennessee, and Duke and all these things, I knew that he was going to struggle a little bit at first, which he did, but I knew just from when I first met him is he's very adaptable. And I knew from how these last 2 months ended, where he's dropping 27, 17, and 10. They're calling him Mr. Energy out there.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Giving him nicknames like, I was like,
great.
okay, like this is where everything we've kind of talked about, and at the end of the day, like I said, he just has a high work ethic. I believe that any kid, regardless of talent, if you have a high work ethic, things are going to start happening regardless. So that's one thing that I definitely give props to MJ is no matter what, whether family's there or not, that he's going to lock himself inside the gym. So
That's great. Well, then, Kendall, go back to you. So I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit because it's just funny how things work out like this. But, last episode we had Marcus, and he was a two-sport athlete. Mm-hmm. And he obviously went with the track. That became his predominant sport. It's kind of the same with you, right? You've been a two-sport athlete. How long have you been a two-sport athlete? Is this pretty much your whole life? Like football and basketball?
I've been playing football my whole life. I really started getting into basketball like 6th, 7th grade.
Okay.
So
right.
it kind of like, I never really liked basketball like that till like Tehran told me to come play for MTB. And that's when I started I was like, it's okay.
shout out to Tehran Johnson, one of my players' dads. He's a trainer, so I just want to give a shout out to him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like Goja's son.
yeah. His son Tariq play for Coach Chris YBA, so definitely got to give a shout out to him.
No, definitely. So you got into basketball and then kind of tried it and got better at it, right? So, you walked that path, and then you now want basketball to be your primary sport, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's obviously what's leading you to the prep school, because I don't know if you guys have a football team, but I don't think so. But no.
They did.
Exactly. So, you decided to make basketball your primary sport. I kind of just was curious about the mental process of what got you there. Also, like, how did your family and friends and things react to that? Because, I don't know if your family more is leaning on the football side or they're leaning, you're obviously going to have a bunch of people in your ear, but it's your path to walk. You know what I mean?
A lot of people didn't like my decision about just focusing on basketball because I have way more recruitment in football, all these top D1s talking to me and stuff. And basketball, I'm not really known like that. So people are just and you're small, you're only 6 foot, and then all the other stuff, I'm just I don't really need to listen to them. I need to listen to myself because I'm going to be taking that decision, not them.
Yeah, you're right. It's your life. At the end of the day, it's your life. If you had to respond to some of these people, if they were literally in this room right now, what would your response be to this? Is
it your life or mine?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to live my life, you live yours. I'm not in your business, don't be in mine.
Okay. And then, what's the appeal of basketball for you? Because again, I find the psychology of two-sport athletes, because I was a two-sport athlete for a long time myself. My other main sport was boxing. So, but then I got tired of getting my nose broken, so I was like, fuck that. I got a big nose. It's a big ass target. I was tired of that shit. So I said, I'm gonna stick to this hoop thing. So I'm just curious, like for you, what made you say, you know what, I really love this and I want to give this a shot? Is it the challenge or is it
the challenge? I felt like I really wanted to see if I really loved this game or not.
Okay.
Because I was kind of like iffy about basketball because I love football. That's like because I've been growing up playing it. But I didn't really grow up playing basketball, so I was just like, maybe I need to see if this is actually for me.
Okay.
Or this football is for me.
Okay. I mean, the good part is you're so young. You still got plenty of time. It's not like
for sure.
You ain't like you got any worries. Do you think you'll have any regrets either way, or you're just gonna let time kind of run its course?
I'm just let everything handle itself. If I don't end up loving the game like I say I do, I'll just end up coming back or like doing 2 sports again like I used to be doing.
All right. Yeah. No, that's good. So the next thing was with recruitment in general, and this is kind of for both of you guys. With COVID, this is the reality. With COVID, recruitment's tough, period, for
it's big.
Football, basketball, everything. I mean, the reality is, and again, this is just my opinion, and I'll make that very clear, I don't have any inside source or anything like that. I don't think there's going to be a high school season next year. I just don't. Not in California anyway.
Yeah.
There's seasons in other parts of the country, but if we're talking about our state, I don't think there's going to be an athletic season.
That's a big reason why I'm going all the way to Pennsylvania because I can't really keep waiting and just what's this? Because they keep pushing everything back. So I'm not finna wait for the governor to allow us to play. Like if I keep waiting, I'm not gonna have a season. I'm not gonna have a junior season. So that's why I also reclassify. So I just wasted a whole year.
Yeah.
Too. So and junior year is the biggest year of recruitment too.
Yeah, and what makes it tough is because you are gonna have this weird paradigm. We talked about it last episode with the 2021 classes, because the 2021 kids that are freshmen at these universities right now basically get a free year. I mean, because they get to keep their year, right? So again, if I'm a college coach in my university and I know I get a freshman for 2 years, I get a year to really mold this kid and work with him, and then I get to do it again. I'm building these kids up. So if I'm the college coach, I'm not even looking for recruits at that point, right? Because I just know I got a bunch of free kids. So what pisses me off, it really hurts you guys, because they're not saying, oh, you get another high school year. You get another chance to play in high school. Like, no, you guys still have to move forward. You still have to graduate. I really feel bad for those high school seniors for this year, because they're going to be in this really weird limbo area, right, where no colleges are going to look at them. Yeah, they could try JC, but again, and I am a JC coach, there is no JC season, and all the kids re-recruited get to hold their year. So there's no need for me to go get any more kids in my JC. You know what I mean? Like there's no need, right? One thing you learn in business is, the market tells you what it wants, right? Because if I come up with a product and it sells a lot of fucking shares or a lot of product, the market's telling me that there's a need for it. Well, right now there's no need in the basketball market for athletes for 2021 because I've already got them basically. So, I think it's really tough. I'm just curious, because you guys are the athletes. I'm a coach, so I'm not in the heart of it, but have you guys talked to some of your friends or some of your fellow athletes? Have they expressed how frustrated they are with this season and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of seniors that I know are from other schools are really frustrated. I see it all the time on Twitter. Nobody's offering. They're just offering all the top guys, top 5 stars, 4 stars. Of course, they're going to offer them.
Yeah.
But for the low recruited guy, the 2 stars, unranked, they're frustrated because they have no senior film, and they just have to base off their junior film from last year. And I'm pretty sure everyone's got better, improved. So last year them and this year them, it's 2 different people.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, MJ?
Yeah, I know a few kids, especially from Vacaville. I just know, because I just feel for them, because I know how hard they work, for this whole off season, just so there won't be a season. And I know I bet those kids want it and just want to play, whether or not they get recruited by the next level. I just know how much love they got for the sport. And, basketball was just like, a getaway, like, to even get to a spot where you get a free education or possibly that. Yeah. And it just sucks for them, and it sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
I feel for everybody,
It is tough.
Yeah. And luckily enough, I was able to get this opportunity at where I'm at. So I'm in a better place than some kids, but, it's even, I know that if it's hard for me at where I'm at, I know, like, for other kids, this is really a struggle. So
I could believe it.
Tough times.
So, Kendall, for you, because from MJ's episode, we kind of already talked about this, but anytime, I have a kid that specifically, like me or Mark, coached or trained or anything like that, I always want to talk about that relationship. So, how has been, training with Mark and, just in AAU basketball, just everything. How has that helped you progress athletically and physically and things like that?
It helped me a lot because, like, when I came in, I wasn't, like, my free throw percentage, my ball handling, my mental toughness, everything was just, like, it was, like, okay, but, like, it's just, like, it's all, I was inconsistent and stuff, and I felt like when I went to Mark, I actually, I took off, like, my, when I had my AAU tournaments, I wasn't struggling. It felt like easy to me. Every time I missed a shot, I just moved on with it. I just kept pushing it. And my mental toughness is the main thing for me because, like last year, I just couldn't keep it together. Like, I would just flip out every time I missed a free throw, missed a shot that I know I was supposed to make, and it was just throwing me off all my games and stuff. And all the games, like, my team needed me too.
Yeah.
And I was just, like, mentally, I wasn't there.
No, it's all right. It's a learning process. You just got to hit that delete button and move forward.
One thing I kind of want to add to that, with Kendall is, like, especially, and this was, a big thing when he decided to choose basketball because, I sat down with his mom and dad and I told them straight up, like, I don't want this decision because of me. Like, I wanted him to make this decision because he had a passion for either football or basketball. And like I told them, it's like, of course, I'm not a football guy. That's not my thing. Like, my thing is basketball. And so seeing him, I remember, your mom reached out to me over the summer. I remember her calling me, like, and I give respect to your mom. Like, she was low key, like, drilling me, like this is my son, and this is the blueprint I want him to follow. I've had other trainers, and he's this kind of athlete, and this and that. So, I was like, ooh, damn, okay, like, that's high expectations. But like I told your mom, which is the same thing I tell you, it's like, at the end of the day, it's if you have a passion, for a sport, and for her to call me and you willing to try it out, the reason I feel like you're where you're at now, that you're about to take this leap to Scotland, is because, like I said, I know you're a pure athlete. You're an athlete, with the football, the even track. You didn't talk about track, like he does track. But the thing was, I saw, from a basketball standpoint, like I saw qualities where I'm like, wait a minute. He's been balancing football, basketball, and even track. Like, he hasn't even went 100 really, with really one sport. And so the times that he's been working with me, I remember when you were about to go to Utah, and remember we were like in the lab for months, leading up to that, and you were just killing. Then you were playing against 18U.
Yeah.
Averaging like 20. And to me, like I said, regardless of his height, like, I see the qualities with his passing. Like, he averaged 21 points per game his sophomore year. He only averaged 4, but, not putting anything on Vacaville Christian, but the talent there isn't the same. So he had to average the 21 points.
Right.
But when I see him in training, when he's competing against our elite guys, and I see how he, his instincts and everything like that, I'm like, if you put that with elite talent, like, man, and he's grinding through a whole season of basketball and working out every day. Like, I truly believe, like I said, who knows, he might become and make it to the NFL or whatever. But right now, and, I'm a person that lives in the moment. Right now that he's with me, we're doing this basketball thing. He's actually going to Scotland with MJ. My mindset right now is like, okay, how do we make you the best basketball player you can be? And from that, I've been just seeing, like, wait a minute, like, your shooting is improving. Like, he's improving fast.
Good.
You know it too. There's certain kids that it takes them a while, and then there's other kids who are like, "Damn, okay, we've only been doing this for a month, and you've already picked it up."
Exactly.
And so to me, that's why I feel like for him to pick the basketball side of it, you know what I'm saying? I know at the end of the day there is a little bit of influence because, you know, I see him every day. We train, we have our conversations. He's around MJ, he's around other players, you know what I'm saying, that I work with. Is, to me, there's something in him that is telling him that he can do this. So to me,
then you gotta go for it.
Exactly. And I feel like you in a good situation, bro. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, yeah, and I know the progress because I've seen it. Because well, on a side note, funny story. This is how small life is and the basketball community is. Oops, I saw you. I've coached against you twice.
Oh, I remember you
Coached against him twice. You might not remember because I think you were a freshman. I think I even tried to recruit you that year.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
I tried to recruit him that year, but you chose the wrong team, unfortunately. But hot shots, yeah. At freshman year, because I thought him and Malik would be a good duo together. Malik Rose, we went to Folsom. We ended up playing you guys at Harwood, and there was so much hype around this game because this is when this guy Lewis was doing way too much.
It was all the ranked players in NorCal.
Yeah, and it was I had my ranked guys, he had his ranked, so it was like, oh, hot shot. And then like 3 of the players that played at Hot Shots with him, at least in that game, used to play for me. It was James, Julian, and Tay.
Yeah.
And they played for me in 8th grade, and they left freshman year. He basically poached my kids, but like I told you, you know, that dude has had a real shady history. But even still, there's a lot of hype around that game. I mean, he's talking on social media. I didn't engage at all. You know me. I didn't engage. Yeah. He's doing most of the talking. I just want the kids to play because I thought it'd just be a great game because I thought, like, shit, these are some good-ass players against my good-ass. You know me, I'm all about competition.
Exactly.
Bring me the good player. And so, and it was a really good game. He got a tech. I remember that. That's when he got a tech. He got mad at Malik. I know what he did. He did some little shit.
Malik was like, he was like testing me and stuff, and he did something. I forgot. Like he did.
He got a reaction out of him. Yeah, he got a reaction out of him. You know, they always see the second guy. Yeah. But again, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of told him fuck with you because you know you were their best point guard. I was like, I said, hey, that kid, fuck with him a little bit, see what he does, and you reacted. But you still got back in the game. You had a solid game, and then fast forward, we just played against you again recently over at courtside. Yeah, remember you were recording it.
The second game. When I got hurt. Yeah, you didn't end up coming.
But you played well. I mean, as I'm saying, I've seen the progress. As I'm saying, I saw him in that freshman game, and then just before obviously courtside and stuff shut down, I saw you play again, and I see the progress in what you're talking about. So you know, keep it up. That's basically the best thing I can tell you. Keep it up. So switching gears to some of the fun stuff, let's talk the NBA. Right? Hey, let's talk about the NBA.
Tomorrow, let's go.
We're going to talk about some of the quick hot takes and stupid shit going on in the NBA. And obviously, our picks for the fun stuff. First, let's lead off with James Harden. Okay. I mean, enough analysts have talked about it. I'm just going to give my quick rundown. You guys in this stuff, you feel free to point out or say whatever you want to say. But, you know, I definitely don't like the way he's handling this. I don't think he's handling it like a professional.
Yeah.
And this is where I get frustrated with athletes because, like, LeBron James is someone who embraces his platform. Yeah. He understands. I mean, shit, even to some, like, I shouldn't even say some levels. Guys like a Steph Curry, even a Chris Paul, even though sometimes he can be a dick. But I'm just saying overall these men, these black men, understand the platform that they're on. They understand what I do affects the world around me. If you heard about LeBron James, 35 years old, I think he's 35, 36. What, 35,
about to be 36,
36 years old, in the club.
Yep.
And being unprofessional, knowing this man is a family man, married man, and to each his own. I'm not saying don't live your life, but knowing that you're doing this publicly, basically looking like a spoiled little brat and shit, it's not that, oh, James Harden shouldn't be allowed to live his life. Let me make that clear. He's 31 years old. He's a millionaire. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But he does have to respect and understand what I do has a trickle-down effect because you guys are hopefully lucky enough to have people in your corner that would never let you do some dumb shit like that. But there's some kids out there that look at something like that and they want to emulate that.
Exactly.
And that's to me where's the irresponsible part. You're not respecting the influence and platform you have, regardless of the organization and him wanting to be out, and the Rockets been letting him do what he wants. I think one analyst called it, they said the Rockets is ran like a high-level AAU team. It's not even ran like an NBA organization. Like James Harden comes to practice when he feels like it. He comes late. If they have an away game, they know he's going to stay an extra day or two and be in the club. I mean,
players switching teams.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, Westbrook, Dwight Howard, Clint Capella don't even play there no more.
Exactly. So, you know, that's just my part in it. I think it's stupid, and you know, you got to handle yourself better. So if you guys ever fortunate enough to make it to the league or something, just try to keep that in mind. Try to keep in mind there's younger people that are looking at you.
Yeah. I just feel like the timing too of with everything that's going on with him, you know, demanding the trade, you know, training camp is happening, and you know, I've seen they got the picture of him looking like Fat Harden, you know, like he's basically he's trying to play himself into shape, but then like going to the strip club and everything during the time where all your teammates are in training camp, you know what I'm saying? And then of course blasting it on social media with all these rappers, knowing that like you said, I mean, all these players are going to live their lives, but it's just the timing of it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty bad and he's a really special player.
Yes.
So for that, like, that's to me we're who knows what's going to happen 5-10 years from now, if this is going to tarnish his legacy, but he don't got no ring. You know, he's known to be a player that dribbles, scores and scores and scores. And that's not basketball, you know? So that's right now where it's kind of affecting him and his legacy, where it's like, this is what he's going to be known for. So hopefully, man, something turns around as long as he don't go to the Nets. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the next kid I want to talk about, well, kind of two of them, but definitely want to talk about this kid, LaMelo. Is he living up to the hype so far? What do you guys think?
He's cool. He's just, I feel like he's inconsistent with a shot though. That's not. His playmaking ability is off the charts for a rookie.
Yes.
Yeah, his playmaking ability is his best ability, I feel like. I just feel like he's getting overhyped though. Like,
Could be. I mean, it's a balance of both, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we were joking about earlier. You know, he came into the league 6'7", now he's 6'9" all of a sudden. So they're like, all right, whatever. It's all over the place. But his upside is crazy. His upside is crazy. The only part for me where I'm a little worried is because he's in Charlotte. And this is where I'm worried about it. Because again, I'm looking at it from a coaching perspective, an analytical mind. MJ and that organization has not shown an ability to develop talent. That like they have not shown an ability to get high level players and have them reach their peak, right? So arguably, you could say arguably, Charlotte has they got the most upside player in the draft. I would say that's to me a fair assessment. Not to say he's the best player, because he's not, but he has the most upside, because the reality is, again, he's a 6'7" point guard. He sees the court well. He makes plays. That's not taught. That's just natural. You know, there's some dudes. If you've ever played with an amazing passer, you know what it's like. It's like, man, you love playing with that guy, and he is that kid. But again, the organization that he in isn't shown the best way of helping those guys reach their potential. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Michael Jordan hasn't had a good rap sheet as an owner. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he had to pick LaMelo Ball at number 3. I mean, whether it's because of COVID, but whether it's because of ticket sales to get him in there or whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like LaMelo definitely has a out of all the brothers, you know what I'm saying, he definitely has the most upside, like you said, shooting mechanics. But this is how I look at it, especially with NBA players that come into the league. Like, you're getting paid millions of dollars to develop every single year. So if he does, like I said, I'm a big LeVar Ball fan, you know what I'm saying, if everybody hasn't known, and I believe that no matter what, you know what I'm saying, no matter what the dad says, if you take away the dad, you know, these boys are hard. You're not just the number 3 pick because your dad is overhyping you. You know what I'm saying? Like you were drafted number 3, and I feel like as long as the focus is developing every year to where look at Lonzo Ball shot. This man shooting pull up mid range off 1-2 dribbles now, where before he couldn't do that. He was a set shot, fling it from his face. So with LaMelo being in the NBA and basketball is 24/7, his shot I don't think is going to be looking like that next 2 to 3 years. The passing is going to get only better because he's playing against high-level players. His body, look, even Lonzo, his body's he's going to get built into his body.
Right.
And like I said, it's the family. Like the Ball family, that is what they were brought up on. And so I feel like he has a good family structure to where if the coaches and if Jordan ain't on him, his dad's definitely going to be on him. You know what I'm saying? Because like he said, they were born to try to be better than Jordan. So whether they reach that point or not, I believe that they are going to be working towards that and try to be their best individual selves. But I feel like LaMelo is going to be, and remember, LaMelo don't got to stay in Charlotte forever. You see all these players, 2-3 year contracts, they bouncing.
Yeah.
You know, you see Lonzo, he didn't even take an extension with the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying? He's going to wait till next summer. And I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. All 3 brothers, if not all 3, 2 of them, they all going to come together one day and play on the same team. Watch.
If whatever team he's on finesses LiAngelo like they did,
LiAngelo,
I mean, he'll be on the bench. He'll be in attendance at the game. All 3 brothers are in attendance at the game.
Hey, but look at the politics side of it. Look at Giannis's brothers, right?
Yeah.
One plays on his team, he don't play, but he's on the bench in Milwaukee, and the other one played for the Lakers. So I feel like if one of them can be really, really good, they gonna have power.
That's
true. If LaMelo becomes really, really good, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I want my brother to be over here. You know? Yeah.
There you go. Shots fired.
But you never know.
Well, the next thing I wanted to talk about was, especially because this has become kind of a hot topic too, is the media, sports media, right? Kyrie Irvin has had his choice words for it. Just recently, there was a commentator, I cannot remember that guy's name, and I listened to him too. It's not Stephen A. or anything like that, but he talked about DeAaron Fox and compared him to Ja Morant, and said, he said, Ja Morant is who De'Aaron Fox thinks he can be or wishes he can be. He said some out of pocket stuff like that, and the question wasn't even didn't even pertain to De'Aaron Fox. So he talked about this analyst on Twitter and said, "You a bitch," like, you know, and so on and so forth. And my question, and then of course, you know, Kyrie is definitely under the microscope for everything he does, especially when he called the media pawns and things like that. So I guess my question is, can media go too far?
Yeah, they go too far just for a story, to be honest. It's just everything about the money and the story, the headlines and all this. And they can be out of pocket sometimes.
For sure. So not even just basketball too, like especially through all this, like it's when the virus first, you know, came, like it was just out of pocket stuff, you know, like it just really got to a point where it's just, you know, you can't control it, but people just, you know, speak their opinion, and it just starts stuff, you know.
True.
You got the followers and the people who are against it.
Yeah.
I feel like Kyrie is, he has some good points, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know, you know, like the media is going to try to get the best story and try to poke these players' buttons, because at the end of the day, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They just want them to get a reaction. You know, kind of like what you said about him. You know, you got the tech. You know what I'm saying? Because you're just trying to mess with them. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Is how much can I push these players who yes, they make millions of dollars, but yet at the end of the day, they go through. You know, there's an 82 game season. They're traveling. They're going through stuff off the court. Who knows? You know how many baby mamas they got or all this other stuff, and then the media is here just poking the bear. But then at the same time, what's also tough is when you play in the NBA, you know it comes with this. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the contract.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You sign it, you're getting paid millions of dollars. The media is actually helping you get paid. You're reaching the fans or whatnot. So yes, the media, they're gonna do. There's gonna be good people, good reporters, and there's gonna be the reporters, you know what I'm saying, who want to get the bad stuff out of you. And so to me, I feel like what you said, like LeBron James, and I remember how Kobe was like. They were smart with it, you know what I'm saying? They still answered the questions. They still did their obligations when it came to the media. But at the same time, it's like, you know, they weren't so effective. Like when, you know how KD and Kyrie are, you know, they are, you know, the word is sensitive, you know, they're sensitive players, you know. And I feel like, you can either, I feel like Kyrie and KD are now trying to, instead of what Kobe and Jordan and players back in the day where they're kind of just trying to ignore it and just, you know, try to give them small answers. They're more now trying to let them know, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't like you. This is how I feel. This is my life. So now I feel like the media and certain people are kind of like, whoa, like this is different. You're not supposed to say that. You know, you're not supposed to open up like that. So I remember Charles Barkley was saying something like to Kyrie, like not saying to shut up and dribble, but something like, bro, like just play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you're supposed to do. But I don't know. I kind of feel where Kyrie's coming from. But then at the end of the day, I'm thinking like, I don't know. I'm not in that position. I never played in the NBA. I'm like, damn, you get paid millions of dollars. Just answer the questions.
True.
So I don't know. You know, like it's tough. It's tough.
It is. Yeah. I mean, again, it's just a balancing act. At least where I come, my perspective on it. Yeah. And when this is the dangerous part. When you say blanket, broad statements without being specific, that's where I think is the problem. Like him saying, all you guys in the media are pawns. Well, you have former pro athletes who are very strong advocates. Like we were just talking about it before with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp is a very strong advocate of keeping shit real, but speaking on the athlete's behalf. You know, because he's been in that spot at least 20 plus years, not only as a player, but as, you know, an analyst and whatnot. And now he is a part of the media. You know what I mean? Kendrick Perkins, you know what I mean? Even agree or disagree with his stance on things. He is a former player who speaks his mind. And so when you say, well, you're all pawns, you know, that's I can imagine being in that perspective. That's pretty insulting. You know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, I was a hooper, just like, you know, I'm on your side. You know, so that's where I would say, like, I like actually what DeAaron Fox did, where he spoke specifically about the guy who spoke about him and called him a bitch. Like, do that. Talk. If you're gonna talk, find a specific person. Don't put everybody in that same boat, because because again, you know, people like Skip Bayless, they get paid to say outlandish shit. Like that's why they get a check. You know what I mean? What's the fat motherfucker name? I hate him. Whitlock. Whitlock. Man. I mean, his fan base is fucking Trump supporters. I mean, shit, that's his fan base. He says the wild shit he says to get that appeal, but there's a reason he no longer has a job on ESPN. However, his net worth is still worth $4 million. Damn. Because now he has his own podcast, he has his own YouTube show, and guess where all those fans went? Right there to him, because he panders to what they want to hear. And then, of course, they're like, well, see, the fat black guy said it, so it must be fucking real. Like, he just verifies all the stereotypical dumb shit they say. I mean, there are analysts that are going to use that power to get ahead. There's no doubt about that. It's true. This is the same man that said, you know, LeBron James getting nigger put on his house was an inconvenience. Like, come on, man. But this dude's worth $4 million. So somebody is watching this. Somebody is paying this man a check. So I just think as an athlete, you got to educate yourself, and you got to understand, like, shit, this is part of the process, and I have to deal with it because I signed the contract. True. So, you know, for you guys, be careful. What is he laughing about?
Kendall? What are you over here dying about?
Kendall, man. I already know what you're laughing at too.
All right, so for other current events outside of the NBA, just a quick update on, you know, California and the athletic situation out here, including my own AAU club in my area over here. If anybody's come to Rockland and seen courtside hardwood or my gym, it's like a ghost town right now. It's literally foggy as shit, and there's nobody around here. So just shit, I'll put it out there. Department of Justice came a couple weeks ago. Officer Picklestein came in his little fucking badge and told me shut down. Like he said, he came in, said shut down, or we are going to sue you. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna shut down. But that's only temporary. We should be up and running back, and hopefully January 5th. You know, he shut down Courtside, shut down Hardwood, shut down myself. I know I've talked to other coaches. Like I talked to Ryan from Touch Shooting the other day. He said, you know, he's been getting they've been threatening him, and people been, you know, commenting or calling or whatever. It's basically a bunch of Karens calling, and you know, they're like, oh, they're still doing it. You know, they're still playing basketball. You know what I mean? Soldier Town in the Bay shut down. The Bay is under complete lockdown. I mean, they're worse than us. I was talking to one of my friends about it. He's a coach at Cal. One of the women's coach, Wendell, and I said to him, I says, oddly enough, it's like basketball or just sports in general. We're living in a prohibition of sports, right? And in case you guys are too young to know what the fuck I'm talking about, back in the 50s and 60s, they did a prohibition in America of making it illegal to drink alcohol. Right, they actually made it illegal, and so what that did was it made a bunch of underground breweries and distilleries where people were basically making underground alcohol sales go up and things like that. We're kind of living in that in the sports world, because I'm gonna be real with you. There's a bunch of under the table open runs and all this. You know, it's like you got to sneak to play basketball. That's. Think about that. It's kind of fucking ridiculous that we're living in that. Like we're living in an age where basketball, there's an underground railroad for hoop. So, what do y'all guys think about that for the basketball community?
You would just never thought it would have been like this. Like, it's just crazy. Look, like we really got to
also compare it to like Harriet Tubman,
yeah,
sneaking out the slaves and stuff.
Yeah, we got to sneak to get shots up.
Like people will literally pay just anything just to get in the gym. Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's crazy.
I don't know, man. And again, you know, some places, I shouldn't say all. I mean, some places have cut off the rims on outdoor courts.
Yeah, they've been cutting off all the rim. Like, I'm surprised. Like, Winters is probably the only court I know. Yeah. Other than that, like the old parks I used to go to, all the rims is off. Like, damn. Like, that was really for real. Yeah.
The one by my house is.
They cut off hella rims. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, for
So
real.
I'm saying we're living in an age of underground hoop.
I heard, because I live in Dixon, the city is trying to ban people who have hoops on their streets.
Oh my god!
Like, wait a minute! Like, what? Yeah, I heard about that. I'm like, what? Like, you can't have a hoop? You can't have your own hoop outside? Like,
right? And that's where I'm like, wait, this is getting out of hand. This is going too far. Again,
bro.
I'm not making light of the fact we live in a pandemic. I'm not. But at some point, people do have to make decisions for themselves. And you know, if people choose to play sports, then that's their choice. If you choose to, that was supposed to be the premise of this country, is you had freedom of choice, freedom of speech, right? These are all of our amendment rights. So let us live those. You know what I mean? You can't. We don't live in a dictatorship, and if that's the route we're gonna go, that's damn sure gonna create a lot of problems amongst people. But again, the vaccines are starting to come out, so who knows? Maybe a year from now, all this shit will be just something we talk about. But, you know, I just found that pretty interesting, looking and reflecting back, especially now because my gym shut down, you know what I mean? And everything around me shut down. It's like, damn.
Crazy.
If I want to do an open run, I got to really like sneak and do it and be like, okay, look, park your car over there, walk over here, make sure you look around, make sure nobody following you. I'm
no posting, don't post anything.
Yeah, don't post it.
Yeah, like I'm really doing something illegal.
I know,
but it's a game.
Just basketball.
Yeah, so you know, hopefully things get better. The last thing is I want to, especially because this week, because especially for our fans, want to wish everybody a good Christmas, right? Because that's coming up. Obviously, I'm fucking dying at UPS every night, but no,
grinding, my boy, grinding.
Yeah, I try, man. But no, I definitely want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I want everybody to be safe out there. Enjoy your families. I know with COVID, some people can see their grandparents, some can't, and that kind of is tough because obviously you want to make sure that demographic stays healthy.
For sure.
I know for me, I'm gonna try to see my mom, but my mom's type 2 diabetic, so she's like nervous to have me come by. But I told her, I haven't seen her in shit. I haven't seen my mom in like a year.
Wow.
So I told her, I was like, nah, I'm gonna come by. I'm gonna go to Oakland, say what's up to you, things like that. What about you, Mark? What you doing for Christmas?
Yeah, so every Christmas, since I moved out here to Dixon, we always go to Vegas. My family's is in Vegas.
Nice.
So this is gonna be the first Christmas where we don't do that because of COVID. So that's gonna be tough. But yeah.
What about you guys? You open some presents?
Shoot, I don't even worry about presents no more. Only gift I want for Christmas is an offer.
Hey, hear him out. Hear him out.
That's good. That's the right thing to say. Shit. What about you, Kendall? What the fuck is wrong with this?
You asleep, bro?
He need a haircut. That's what somebody give him a haircut.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do for Christmas.
Wake up. Shit.
Wake up, be in my drawers, and head back upstairs. Like,
All right, there you go. That sounds like a good Christmas. I'm probably just gonna sleep most of mine, so I ain't worried about it either. I want to talk respectfully disrespectful before we get out of here. Basically, a subject I was kind of thinking about. I got a call from, and I want to give this dude a lot of respect, Coach Jay from CTB. He gave me a call because he wants one of my 8th grade players, Muhammad, to play with him in this tournament. And also when Elijah from Team Rampage came to my team, to my 16U team, me and Bracey talked,
Nice.
right? And I appreciate coaches that can do that. That's one thing I want to just point out. Like, I appreciate coaches that could collaborate together because it made me think, because of your relationship with Bracey and Mark and the way they can communicate and collaborate to try to help you be your best. You know what I mean? Like, and like Tariq's dad and just all that. I just want to give a shout out and definitely say I respect those coaches out there and trainers and whatnot who can do what's right for the athlete. And it's not an ego thing. It's not you're my player, don't play for nobody else. I train you, don't train with anybody. I'm a big advocate. Look, go through any fucking episode you want. I say it all the time. Play as much as you fucking want. Play for who you want. You got to figure out as the athlete who gets the best out of you. If it's not me, that's fine. There's going to be somebody else. You know what I mean? So for those coaches who respect that and handle it the right way, I definitely want to give you guys a shout out. But on the flip side of that, this is what brings me to the respectfully disrespectful part. I'm noticing in the basketball community even more so, I would say, and again, maybe you guys might have a little bit of this perspective as players or have talked about it as players growing up in this day and age in the AAU circuit, because AAU is very different for you guys than it was for me, just being honest. There's a lot of division, it feels like, amongst these AAU programs, these coaches, trainers, scouts, handlers, whatever, pronoun you want to give them. Like, it seems to be a lot. The more successful some places are, there seems to be a lot of jealousy. And the reality is this, and Mark Cuban said it, and it's something that sticks with me too. He says, when you're successful, people want to see you fail. That's just reality of it. The more success you get, there's somebody waiting to watch you fail. There is somebody waiting for this gym to fail. There's somebody waiting to see YBA fall the fuck apart, and then they try to. That's just the reality of it because of the success we've been able to build. There's somebody waiting for him to fail. There's somebody. It's just the way the world works. I don't like it, but it's the way it works. I hate to see it more and more in the basketball community because I think because of the shutdowns. Yeah. And because you got a lot of people scrambling, trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills and how they're going to feed their family. So they're getting more and more cutthroat. They're getting more and more, they're really exposing themselves. You know what I mean? The gloves are coming off more and more. So my question, I guess, is, are we stuck just living this way in this basketball community, or is there ways we can make this better?
I don't know, man. I feel like it's been like this.
Yeah.
Like, and it's gonna keep being like this. And I feel like you have to, like, I feel what you're saying. I feel like we all should do our own parts to kind of, like I said, whether it's collaborating or, one thing that me and Bracy always like to say is, like we're a village. Like if we're helping a kid, it's like we're a village. And at the same time, I know that, like, yes, we can do that, but it has to be, a bigger effort, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if that doesn't happen, then I feel like you really just have to kind of like focus on your own little village, your own circle, and try to really, build upon that, and don't let it, don't let it be like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? And let that negativity come in. So yeah, and like even with them, you know what I'm saying, with Kendall and MJ and a lot of my players, that's one of the things is, like be very, very particular in the people that you surround yourself with. You know what I'm saying? And the people that want to help you. Because, of course, everybody wants to help.
Right.
Hey, man, I could do this for you, man. I can give you these shoes, man. I can do this. But at the end of the day, like, you should really just focus on the more genuine people who are it's not about the money. You know what I'm saying? It's actually about the kids. So yeah, man, like you said, I don't think it's going to happen overnight.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Have you guys felt that as players? I mean, I'm always curious from your guys' perspective. Have you ever had coaches or trainers or just anyone that made you guys feel like you were wrong for playing for someone else, or you were like, you felt that?
Yeah.
How did I mean, you don't have to throw them under the bus or nothing, but what I'm trying to understand is, like, how did that make you feel, like, as a player? Like,
I feel like I'm like a slave, like I'm just yours or something. Just like I should be able to like play for a team that's giving me the best opportunity. I'm not just gonna. I get about the loyalty thing, but I'm gonna do what's best for me and like my recruitment and what's gonna help me get to the next level. For the coach's benefit. Did
it surprise you, kind of, their reaction sometimes, or was it?
Yeah, because I was just like, wow, like, and I was just thinking in my head, I was like, why would you even say that to like a player?
Yeah,
it's like, why?
Have you ever experienced any kind of?
I had a situation before I went to Rampage. I was like, I wasn't with this team because I didn't play a tournament with them. But first he like kind of like I would work out with the coach, and then he was like, well, if you want to play with our AAU team, and at the time I wasn't in one, so I was agreed to him. And then when Bracy hit me up for Rampage, I kind of knew texting Bracy, I was like, okay, this is the right opportunity for me instead of being with this. Even though I already said yes to him, I had to that's when I first had to, probably my first real decision where I just had to grow up and just tell him like I'm moving to Rampage, because of this. Yeah. And he was like, I knew him as a coach since I was younger, and it was like I'm a big-hearted person, so it was like kind of hard for me to do stuff like that, but I knew I had to do it. And he was just like, he was still trying to wanted me to stay, but as him knowing like, okay, well, I'm gonna just let him move on and just see what he does there. And then, we touched bases a little later and then talked about it and just,
Did he give you any backlash, or was he overall okay with it?
He was I don't know, because he texted like he was okay with it, but I kind of knew he felt a type of way. But, at the end of the day, it's love, though. He just wanted me to play with him and stuff like that.
And again, to speak on just the trainer coaching side of it, I do get it on some aspect because we're human. We feel like we give our heart and our souls to this. I give my heart and my soul to my kids. He's seen how I coach. Like, I give my all and my energy to these guys, and I want them to play their best. So, yeah, it is kind of fucked up when all of a sudden you get a phone call and it's like, well, I ain't playing for you no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I've had to learn is, in business, the worst thing you could do is put emotion in your business. That's just one thing I've learned doing this, because that's the reality of it. YBA and my training company is a business. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And we have a business model. I cannot afford to put my emotions in the business, because that's when you make bad decisions. You right? So I've also had to learn that when it comes to recruiting kids and coaching kids and them making moves for themselves. Like when I recruited you, I I don't know. I don't think you respond. I think you look, but you didn't say anything. But I don't think like I said like, oh well, fuck you then or anything. You know what I mean? Like no, he just didn't. He clearly had his team, which was fine, and I just was like, thanks for hearing me out. Like I mean, just thanks for checking out the message because I think I just messaged you on Instagram or something like that, and that was it. And I don't take it personal, you know what I mean? But I've had kids who've left me for other programs, and what I learned to do is I said, okay, every year Team Lillard, Oakland Soldiers, Lake Show, all these guys keep going after guys that I coach and that I train. Okay, so I figured out how can I use this rather than fight against this, right? West Coast. These are the programs that are bigger than me, in my opinion. And what I mean by bigger is they have the shoe contracts that I wish I had. I have a Nike contract, but it ain't the one like the Soldiers got. But it's the Soldiers, Team Lillard, and a West Coast Elite. Those three. I'm friends and have the phone numbers to all three directors and all 16U and 17U coaches. It's not by accident. That's because I realized they're going to take some of my top players. So instead of making my player feel like shit, right, and souring that relationship, why don't I build a relationship and rapport with these guys, and then I can broker that deal, and then eventually that's going to come back to me in a positive way, shape, or form. Like, let's say if a kid, for example, Malik played for me freshman year, and then through the course of that season, Team Lillard wanted him. And he went to Team Lillard. Now, that sucked because I love Malik like he's another one of my sons, but I had to see the bigger picture, right? He got on a circuit. He got to play against some of the top-tier talent. He got to play against like Amani Bates and those guys, and that's what helped him. And circle back later, 2-3 years later, he's now moved to Portland, living with, staying with his older sister and sometimes my brother, and my brother coaches him on the Adidas circuit team, International Elite in Portland. Nice. Right? See how it come off? And now he's a junior. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what I mean. Where my suggestion to anybody who's listening to this, any coaches who are listening to this, work with the higher programs. What my program is, we are a high level mid-tier program, right? We're not Duke, we're Sac State. You know what I mean? Both D1s, but there's clearly different levels to it, right? So instead of me trying to, be the enemy of Duke, I'm going to work with Coach K, right? And I'm going to say, hey, I got some players for you might want to take a look at. But then what is Coach K going to fuck around and probably do for me, right? He'll probably sit me down with the right people, get me to the right meetings, get me to have conversations with the right people, you know? So it was just kind of an interesting thing I was thinking about because I don't think it's fair to put that kind of pressure on you guys. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Life's hard enough. I don't want to make a 12-year-old have to fucking decide between playing for me and playing for another team and then making him feel like shit if he doesn't do it. Like, he's in 6th grade. Like, life's going to be hard enough, right? And then people wonder why does this trickle up to the to the NBA?
Yeah,
right.
True.
Because that's why some of these NBA players want to create their super teams and want to play with their. I mean, that's AAU culture. I mean, that culture is what it is.
Hopping teams and switching around.
Now, again, I don't think, and again, let me make it also clear because I've also said this in previous episodes with the disclaimer. I don't think you should move teams if you're looking for some type of vindication. I don't believe in moving laterally. I believe in moving up, right? If you're going to move, make a move that's best for you, not just because they're saying what you want to hear, right? Not, oh, you're the man. Oh, you can shoot the ball 50 fucking times and you're the man over here. Like, how is that helping that kid become better? Because, again, if you want the purest example of it, look at Julian Newman. He got to be the man and shoot 50 shots and do whatever the fuck he want. I mean, his dad built a high school for him. Yeah. A bullshit high school, but he built it for him. Yeah. And that kid is going nowhere. Yeah. I mean, you could say his height and all. No, I mean, the kid had some potential to be he could be an NAI kid or something like that. But because he wasn't taught basketball, he was taught about that his ego is bigger than the game. He now has nowhere to go.
Yep.
Because nobody wants to take on that headache. I don't give a fuck how much media attention you get. Nobody wants to take on that headache.
Yep.
So, hopefully let that be a lesson for those who listen out there, and you're hearing it from guys who are athletes that they don't want to deal with that shit either. Coaches, trainers and shit, stop putting pressure on these kids like that. In my opinion, just if that's how you got to live your life, you do what you got to do. You're a grown man. I can't tell you not do that. But my suggestion would be listen to them, because ultimately it is about them, right?
Yep. So,
last deal. Just want to make a couple quick shout outs, and then we'll get out of here because I feel like Kendall's about to fall the fuck asleep. No.
We've been up since 5 a.m. That's probably what it is.
No, I definitely want to give Ryan from Touch Shooting a shout out because I had a good conversation with him. Me and him are potentially talking about doing some stuff, collaborating together.
Nice.
It's always good to, try to work with another brother who's really trying to do right for the kids, and obviously his own company, which I have no knock on. Touch Shooting seems to be making a mark for themselves, so keep that up. CTB, Coach Jay, obviously for you and all that you do and talking to me the right way. I want to give a shout out to Joe because you guys saw the other episode of that docu-series thing. Yeah, I really want to give him a shout out because he's working hard, man. He's always out there filming, doing something, taking photos. So the fact that he took that time to do that for me, I really appreciate it. Other than that, I think that's a wrap for me. You got anything, Mark?
No, just want to say, good luck, MJ, Kendall. You guys are leaving next week, right?
I'm leaving next Tuesday.
He's
leaving the week after.
He's leaving. Yeah, man. So I just want to say good luck.
Yeah, they're gonna leave next Friday.
Okay.
Oh wow. Oh, so you're going.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So I just want to say, good luck to them, and like I said, MJ is the best unsigned guard in the country. So I just want to let that out there. All right.
Well, again, we appreciate everybody who's checking us out. Appreciate everybody who's listening. Again, thank you two for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. I'm glad things are going well for you, big time. I really am. And Kendall, obviously, I wish you a bunch of luck. Go out there, kill it, right? For those, please hit that subscribe button. I know you guys get tired of hearing that, but it does help. It really does help, especially with that YouTube algorithm. The more likes, more people can see it. And it just helps us because, again, we want to know that we're doing something that, you guys want to hear. The biggest benefit for me is I'm learning. I'm learning from these kids. I'm learning from different coaches. I'm learning from different trainers, and I value that. Definitely want to give Ty a shout out as always because he's working hard behind that camera for us and doing great work. Again, my mom always appreciates it, bro. So she tells me all the time. She's like, "I love when he does this." So keep doing that shit. Mark, you got anything to add?
No. Shout out to Ty. My guy Ty.
My guy.
Again, please follow us on our social media. The links will be in the description for the show and on YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, if you just want to say good job, if you want to say terrible job, we'll take all information and listen to it. I'll respond to you on YouTube if you got something to say. I don't care. Just please keep supporting. We appreciate you. Again, you guys, thanks for coming out. Everybody be safe out there. Protect yourselves from COVID and enjoy your Christmas. And we are out.